On September 26, 1983, the world came closer to nuclear annihilation than most people will ever know. But it didn't end in fire. It ended with a man, a single Soviet officer, making a decision that no computer would ever make. His name was Stanislav Petrov, and his choice to stay human in a moment designed for machines may have saved your life. Today, we're going to explore what his story reveals about the future of warfare, artificial intelligence, and why one nation is making a radically different bet than the one that kept us alive. Picture this. It's just after midnight in the Kaliningrad region of Russia. Stanislav Petrov, a 44-year-old lieutenant colonel, is sitting in front of a computer terminal. He works for the Soviet early warning system, the last line of defense against a surprise American nuclear attack. His job is straightforward, but carries apocalyptic weight. Monitor the satellites. If missiles are coming, he needs to know. At 0034, an alarm sounds. Red letters flash on the screen. Launch. Then another. And another. The system is detecting what appears to be multiple intercontinental ballistic missiles, a full American first strike. This is the scenario Soviet military planners had nightmared about for decades. This is the moment when the button gets pushed. This is the moment when dead hands reach for dead fingers. The protocol was clear, unmistakable, automatic. When the early warning system detected an incoming American strike, the Soviet military had a response prepared. Launch everything, every missile, every warhead, immediate retaliation, no negotiation, no second chances. Petrov had minutes. But Petrov did something the system wasn't designed for. He thought, he looked at the data, he looked at the logic, and something didn't fit. 5 missiles detected. But if America was truly launching a first strike, the kind designed to wipe out Soviet leadership and command structures, why only 5? American doctrine called for thousands. Overwhelming force, guaranteed destruction. 5 missiles made no strategic sense. It was illogical. It was human. Petrov picked up the phone. He told his superiors, "This is a false alarm. The satellites are malfunctioning. Stand down." He was right. It was a false alarm, a software glitch that nearly ended civilization. Now you might think, why didn't they just let the computer decide? Why do we even need a man in the middle? The answer gets at something fundamental about how machines work. Machines follow rules. Give a computer a rule, if X, then Y, and it will follow that rule with perfect consistency. No doubt, no hesitation, no mercy. If the early warning system's rule was 5 or more missiles detected equals launch retaliation, then 5 missiles means launch. A computer wouldn't have asked why 5 missiles. A computer wouldn't have recognized that the pattern violated strategic logic. A computer wouldn't have understood the broader context. But humans can do something machines struggle with. We can recognize when our own rules might be wrong. We can see anomalies. We can ask whether we should apply the rule in this specific case, even when it technically applies. This is what philosophers call practical wisdom, the ability to apply general principles to messy, real-world situations. It's judgment, and it's something machines by design don't have. Petrov was the man in the middle. He was the constraint, the friction, the human delay built into a system designed for speed. And that friction saved the world. His was a system built on an assumption that some decisions are too important to leave to rules alone. That you need a human being in the loop. Not because humans are smarter than computers, but because humans can understand context. Humans can recognize absurdity. Humans can say, wait, this doesn't make sense. Let me think. For decades, this became the doctrine of nuclear powers worldwide. Keep a human in the middle, always. It's slower, it's less efficient, but it's safer. Because it preserves the possibility of recognizing error. It's the price of wisdom. But not everyone is making that same bet. In 2021, researchers William Hannes and Huey-Mi Chang published Chinese Power and Artificial Intelligence, a detailed examination of how China is approaching AI in its military systems. And what they found was troubling. According to their research, China may be planning to remove the man in the middle entirely. Instead of keeping humans in the loop, keeping friction in the system, China appears to be designing military AI that would respond to detected threats without human authorization, without the delay, without the doubt, without Stanislav Petrov. Think about what that means. A satellite detects what appears to be an incoming missile, An AI system analyzes the data. The AI system decides independently to launch a retaliatory strike. All in seconds, no human judgment, no pause to ask whether the data makes sense, no Petrov to say, wait, something's wrong here. The logic, from one perspective, is seductive. Speed is an advantage in warfare. If you have to wait for human authorization, you lose time. Your adversary might move first. Your defenses might be too slow. Removing the human delays means faster response. Faster response means superior capability, but it also means removing the thing that saved us in 1983. Doubt. The human capacity to recognize that something doesn't add up. Here's the paradox we're facing. Artificial intelligence is getting smarter. Machine learning systems can process data faster than humans. They can recognize patterns we can't see. They can optimize military responses in ways that seem flawless. But intelligence and wisdom aren't the same thing. Intelligence is the ability to solve a problem given the rules. Wisdom is knowing when the rules might be wrong. Petrov wasn't the smartest person in the room. The early warning system was probably smarter. It could process more data faster. But Petrov had something the system didn't. He could recognize that the data itself might be wrong. He could recognize that the conclusion didn't make strategic sense. That's not a feature you can code into a neural network. When you remove the man in the middle, you remove the possibility of that kind of wisdom. You optimize for speed at the cost of judgment. You choose efficiency over understanding. And the terrifying part is, you might not realize you've made a mistake until it's too late. Because without a human in the middle, without Petrov, there's no one to say stop, no one to question the data, no one to recognize that something doesn't add up. The system will simply do what it was designed to do, perfectly, efficiently, catastrophically. We're at an inflection point in human history. The technology exists to remove humans from military decision-making. The capability is real. The question is, should we? Some nations following the Petrov model are maintaining humans in the loop, keeping that friction, keeping that possibility of wait, that doesn't make sense. Other nations appear to be choosing differently, betting that speed and automation matter more than human judgment, believing that machines can make better decisions than people can. Maybe they're right. Maybe the next Petrov moment won't happen. Maybe the data will be clear. Maybe there won't be ambiguity. But history suggests otherwise. Stanislav Petrov died in 2017. He was never famous during his lifetime. His government didn't celebrate him. For years, nobody knew his story. But he left us with a profound lesson about technology, judgment, and the irreplaceable value of human wisdom in the face of systems designed for speed. His lesson was simple: keep a human in the middle. Not because humans are infallible, but because human judgment, the ability to pause, to question, to recognize when something doesn't add up, might be the most important safety feature we have. The question is, will we listen?